welcome Meg Ryan, who is going to the Olympic Games. First of all, congratulations, you are officially an Olympian. How does that sound?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, it feels amazing just to be selected. I think, I had a long wait before hearing the official news. So just to kind of get that confirmation is amazing. And I'm just really happy and can't wait to get out there, really.
And you're going to be the second Irish woman, is that correct, to be competing in gymnastics at the Olympics?
Yeah, so for the 2016 Olympics, Ellis O'Reilly went and competed for Ireland in gymnastics, and she was the first Irish female to compete in gymnastics for Ireland at the Olympics. So yeah, I'll be the second one now in this Olympics.
And when for you did your Olympic dream begin? I think we've seen a bit more in gymnastics in the past couple of years, which is really strong. I like to see obviously two athletes going this year is brilliant.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I went into gymnastics with that, I've always dreamed of kind of going to the Olympics since I was, really young. I think I was young when I started. I would have been 4 or 5. And I think I just joined gymnastics just because I liked it and I enjoyed it, it was fun and I enjoyed having fun doing it and stuff. So I never really thought about the Olympics really, even in I think I remember the first Olympics I remember is the 2012 Olympics. And I remember watching them, but even then, I never thought that would be what I'd be aiming for or anything. And then I suppose by the time the 2016 Olympics kind of came around, I had kind of gotten better and better. And I suppose as the years went on and as I began going to bigger competitions and stuff, then it kind of became the goal gradually, after that, I suppose. But it definitely wasn't there from the very start.
It's obviously something I think that not everybody thinks about when they're really young and stuff. But then as you start to, like you're saying, hit those international competitions and that, it becomes more within grasp, I think. Have you talked to Eilish and asked her advice and about the whole experience and everything?
No, I actually haven't. I should do that. I would have been to a few competitions with Ellis, and she was really nice and really helpful because she was obviously older and stuff, so she kind of had that bit more experience. But I'm sure she got on really well there, so I should get on to her and see how she found the whole experience. Obviously, it'll be a bit different for us just because with COVID and everything, it's going to be a whole new experience completely. But I suppose having never been to games before, I don't have much expectations. I don't know what to expect really. So it's kind of nice that it won't be too different for me because I don't have any thing to base it off of. So, but I'll definitely get in contact and see what she thinks.
Get the top tips.
Yeah. Any regrets or anything that she'd have for me.
In terms of, obviously you mentioned that it's going to be a different type of Olympic Games. Do you think that makes that almost easier for you to go in with maybe less of a crowd and all that kind of thing as your first Olympic Games? Or I know obviously people would love their family and friends to be there, but does it take some of the pressure away a little bit? Or I don't know, I just asking.
I think definitely that is kind of the case for me, because I know for certain sports and even certain athletes that they kind of would kind of get that bit more adrenaline, that bit more kind of confidence from having a crowd, and not having a crowd would be a big thing for them. It kind of helps them in some ways. But I think we would have a lot of competitions, there would definitely be a crowd, but it would never be a huge crowd. So it would never be the size of what I imagine and a usual Olympic crowd would be like. So I suppose for me it kind of makes it seem a bit more like every other competition when it's not going to be a huge crowd there. So that definitely is nice, because just to be competing in that environment it kind of it does take the pressure off a little bit. It seems a bit more what I'm used to, and obviously having family and things there would definitely be nice just for the experience, the whole experience for them and for myself. But for the actual competition aspect of it, I think it is nice, and that it does take off a bit of pressure. So it's got positive and negatives it, definitely.
Yeah, I think it's obviously going to be a bit different, but look, you'll take it in your stride, no doubt. I think you're frozen on me there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, definitely.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Are you?
Okay, no, you were just frozen. You're back on me now. You're frozen for a second.
Okay, that's fine.
Sorry. So you had narrowly missed out on automatic qualification and were the first reserve for the games. When did you officially find out that you were allocated the spot, and what was your reaction? Because I think you were so close.
Yeah, I was definitely waiting a long time because I obviously qualified the reserve spot in like the end of September, start of October 2019. So that was a long while ago now, obviously with COVID and everything. But I found out I kind of got the call on, not last Monday, but the Monday before. And then I kind of, got the official announcement was this day last week. So, yeah, last Friday. So, that was definitely a long while, but there had kind of been like, I suppose, like speculations as it was going on. And, then I kind of heard of like North Korea pulling out and everything. So, like as the time was going on, it kind of became a bit more like, okay, like it looks like I might be going, but I never kind of had that confirmation. I didn't know, like when it kind of came out that North Korea were definitely pulling out, I didn't know why they would have taken so long then to get on to me to see if I was going or not. So it was a bit of nerve-wracking, kind of just waiting for it, but I was training away anyway. And then just to kind of definitely get that call was really, really nice. And just to be able to tell everyone, that it was official was just, yeah, that was an amazing feeling. So I was delighted.
Absolutely. In terms of like, obviously COVID has impacted a lot of things, but how did you find kind of the motivation for training and the difficulty as well? Because obviously like you need equipment and everything. How did you kind of find, I suppose, the last 18 months really, or nearly 18 months anyways?
Yeah, no, it definitely wasn't easy. I think that the first lockdown obviously was the hardest for me anyway, and for a lot of people, just because like everything was so uncertain and kind of no one knew really what to do or like what was happening. So that would have been the start of March in 2020 or whatever. And obviously like the gyms all closed and stuff. So I was out of training, and for the first 2 weeks it was really like I didn't know what to do with myself. Like I think like I couldn't remember the last time I had like more than like 5 days off training or like a week off training. So like I didn't know what I was going to do or like how I kind of go about it or like how long everything would be closed, because obviously initially we were told it'd be like 2 weeks, and obviously then it kind of became clear that it would be a lot longer than that. I suppose it helps kind of knowing that everyone else is in the same boat as well, like me and everyone else who in the country who would be like on my squad, on the senior squad and stuff. Like I would have been talking to everyone, and we were all out of training. But after I suppose those first 2 weeks, then I got a few bits of equipment from our gym. So just like some, like I wouldn't fit everything in my house, but just some small things like a panel mat and like a small like foam like beam or something. So once I got that, it helped me kind of get into a routine. And then I got like, my coach gave me like a program to follow. So I had like the equipment and I had the program to, for what to do on all the different bits of equipment that I had at home. And then it kind of just became a routine thing. So every day I'd just be kind of following that program, and I would get up and I would do whatever, eat my breakfast and whatever. And then I'd kind of just have the routine of kind of getting all that done. And yeah, I suppose just having kind of that strict routine kind of helped me for that first whole lockdown. And then I just worked hard through that whole thing. And then obviously when the things opened back up again, first day, it was weird trying to get back into the training.
Yeah.
I was a bit cautious and everything, but it was fine. Like we got there eventually. And then obviously there was more lockdowns like since then, but we were really lucky that with elite athletes were allowed to continue training. So I was included in that. So I was allowed to train in the gym, but it was obviously just me and my coach allowed in. So it was a lot quieter in there, like there wasn't the same like atmosphere, everyone else that would be in the gym was not there. So it was kind of hard to like adjust to that, I suppose, just having just us in the gym. But we kind of got used to it as it went on, and then it kind of went on and on. So it lasted for a while. So I suppose we got used to it eventually. But it's nice now that everyone's back, I think, just for the whole atmosphere and everything. So we got through it, but it's nice now that we look like we're past it now, hopefully.
Yeah, for sure. Give us a bit of an overview of the Allaround as an event, because I know not everybody is necessarily, really familiar with gymnastics, or if they are, they don't necessarily understand everything that's going on. So give us a bit of a description so everybody can know what to expect and understand a bit when they're watching you compete.
Yeah, so the Allaround would mean you'd compete 4 pieces of apparatus. So you'd compete the vault, bars, beam, and floor, and you'd compete 1 routine on each piece. So 1 vault, 1 bar routine, 1 floor routine, and 1 beam routine. And then your score from each piece would be added together, and that would be your all-round score. And that would be what the all-round is. Then everyone's all-round scores would be, gone into that.
And do you have a preferred event, or you enjoy them equally as much?
Yeah, I definitely have, I suppose, a favourite and a least favourite, but I would say probably floor would be my favourite. I feel like it's kind of just the one where you kind of get to have a bit more fun with it, and kind of perform and stuff, as well as actually doing the gymnastics, and you kind of get to even just show the judges that you enjoy it and you like what you're doing. As well as focusing on the skills and everything. So floor would definitely be my favorite, I would think.
Cool. In terms of gymnastics as a sport, it can be very challenging mentally and physically. So can you give us a bit of an insight into what it's like? And I mean, you also had your leaving cert as well. So how did you juggle everything?
Yeah, it's definitely hard. But yeah, both mentally and physically, as you said. It takes up a lot of time is one huge thing about it, I suppose, because there's 4 different pieces of apparatus. It's almost you're kind of training 4 different sports almost, in a sense. So the training sessions will be long. They could be 5 to 6 hours most days, and then you'd be training, I'd be training 5 days a week. So it takes up a lot of time, and that's obviously physically tough. But then you have kind of schoolwork and everything on top of that. So trying to balance that, that does definitely take a toll. And I suppose for me, obviously this year, with leaving cert, that was probably the most difficult year. And I think even starting off the year, we would have had a lot of exams and things, because people would have been a bit uncertain as to whether the leaving cert would have been going ahead. So they kind of wanted to give us a lot of exams just based on what happened last year, and that they'd have kind of results and stuff to go off if anything came down to grades and stuff. So I felt like my schoolwork was taken from my training, or my training was taken from my schoolwork. So that was kind of tough, mentally, to kind of adapt to. Or if training wasn't going well, I'd be kind of thinking, I'm doing too much schoolwork and stuff. So it was kind of just trying to mentally prepare myself so that I was kind of focusing on my schoolwork when I was in school, and then focusing on my training when I was in the gym. So yeah, definitely became a balancing act. But I suppose I got used to it as the year went on, and then when it came down to it now, I'm done school, so it's just really nice to be able to just focus on my training now.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, there's definitely a lot to figure out, and obviously it's been such an unusual year as it is, so it's trying to get in terms of gymnastics, there's a bit of conversation going on around some athletes opting for full bodysuits instead of traditional leotards. About kind of giving some gymnasts a choice. What are your kind of thoughts around that in terms of the movement, or you don't think about it too much?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great thing, for them, for them to kind of make a statement like that is a huge thing. I wouldn't have thought about it too much, but obviously I was at European Championships, and that was kind of where they debuted kind of the unitard, I think is what they call it. But I think it's great for them to kind of make a statement on behalf of not only themselves but all kind of gymnasts, that it doesn't matter how I suppose the gymnasts look, that it's more about what they're doing and stuff, and that's kind of what they wanted to I'm assuming that's kind of what they wanted to like showcase in the competitions, is that, you know, it's not about the, you know, there's all this thing with like nice leotards and nice whatever, and I suppose they just wanted to make it more about the gymnasts themselves and the skills. So I think it's a really good thing for them, and I think it was a really like strong thing for them to do and come out and make that statement. So yeah, I'd definitely be in support of them, whether, you know, it kind of sticks or not, or whether other people kind of join in. You know, it's definitely a great thing for them to do.
Yeah, no, it's you know, it's interesting the different conversations that go on, you know, sport to sport. And,
yeah.
You know, people from the outside looking in may not even kind of notice something like that, but then, you know, you obviously hear the stories from different athletes and stuff, and you know, what they're kind of trying to achieve. And I think, like you're saying, like it's like gymnastics absolutely should be about the, you know, the sport and the performances, not necessarily what people are wearing and that type of thing.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, and look, there's conversations going on lots of different sports that can be controversial or that type of thing. But yeah, look, thanks a million for taking the time to chat to us. We wish
no problem.
and really look forward to seeing you in action.